just out here from my fitness in normal clothes, not jumping about. So yeah, I just thought I'd talk down the camera. I've had a lot of people ask me recently, so how did I get into class instructing, how did I get into personal training, how do I maintain my motivation, how do I do different things. So I wanted to tell you what it was for me that started us off in this industry and how I got to teaching classes and to the point where I've taught 3,000 and all those different things. And I think one video could clear that up. I mean, if you want to take from this what you want, because the story is just purely of luck and is purely of fate, but yeah, it's an interesting story, so it's interesting to me anyway, but there we go. So, started off as a young kid, 15 years old, yes, 15, and I joined Fitness First. I obviously wrote the wrong birth date down, and yeah, started off at the gym. It very quickly became apparent to me that I was absolutely obsessed with the gym, because I'd go in every single day and I'd do my bicep curls and I'd do my tricep extensions and I'd do my bicep curls and I'd do my bicep curls and I'd do my hammer curls and I'd do my preacher curls and maybe a shoulder press here and there, but I'd definitely do my bicep curls. And I'd come out of the gym with my arms, which were about that big, and I'd think, God, you're the biggest bloke I know. But in all seriousness, it was a very inspiring place to be. There was some absolute behemoths in there. There was some great PTs, and yeah, it was something that I really enjoyed. So yeah, kept going to the gym, enjoying it. Decided to leave school because, frankly, I got enough of writing essays, which is quite strange, really, because I'm very good at writing essays, but I'd had enough of writing them. So left school and yeah, took up a voluntary position at Fitness First, where I started out at, and yeah, that was just cleaning the gym floor, getting used to exercise. The health and fitness manager at the time would just get me doing different things, try and teach me different things. But the one thing that they made me do was do a class a week and then give them some feedback on what was going on. Now, my feedback, frankly, was crap because I had no idea what I was doing, and at the time I wasn't even interested in classes. And I remember one of the Christmas nights, they got me on a shift and they were all going out to the jam house. All of them got so paralytically pissed that I had to lock the facility up because they forgot to come back. And yeah, the next day was mental. The sales manager was lying in the sunbed room, we'd shut all of it off because he was falling asleep. Everybody was just dead around the facility. And somebody had actually come in to join, and it was the sales manager's sale, as we used to call him. And yeah, I went in to get him, and he said, I am not doing it because if I get up, I'm probably going to throw up. You do it. So either way, I showed this kid round, seemed really excited, joined, and they said, just get some of his mates' numbers and see if they want to join. So I've got their numbers, and yeah, all 5 of them joined, which was, you know, really, really good. It's called a POS sale. And yeah, that was the beginning of the launch of me coming into the fitness industry. Around the same time, one of the sales guys had given me a piece of paper and said, hey, go and speak to everyone on the gym floor and get them to give me your mates, their mates' numbers who might want to join. So I got about 45, 50 numbers, which I found out was a massive mistake because they expected that of me. But yeah, got 45, 50 numbers, and 6 or 7 of those joined, which was great. And they offered me a sales role. So came into the sales role and I was absolutely shit. Let's be completely honest about things. One of the sales staff walked out of me on a sales call because they were laughing so hard at how bad I actually was. You know, a 16-year-old kid, I thought I could tackle the world, and it was absolutely rubbish. But yeah, first month did 20 sales, second month we had an offer on, so I did 50 sales, and then the third month I actually came second and did 70 sales. Now the reason I came second, you know, was it this, you know, magical journey that I went on to becoming the best? No, 3 of them had holiday booked. And the person who actually won got 112. Now I distinctly remember it because she showed me a pay packet and it was over £3 grand. And at the time it was a strange scenario because You know, I wanted to do fitness. I'd got my level 2 fitness instructor, but there were no real fitness jobs in the industry at the time, that I thought anyway. And yeah, one of the nights, one of the instructors didn't turn up, and they said, "Aid, you know how to teach, go and teach a core class." I was thinking, okay, pretty simple to do, not a problem. Got up there and thought, right, write down all my exercises, how many have I got? Right, okay, if I do 3 sets of 15 on all of these, this will last about 7 minutes. It's a half an hour class. So, yeah, just absolutely winged it, skin of my teeth, just kept doing it over and over and over again. And for some reason, the 7 people that did it absolutely loved it. I remember distinctly that my music choice was Katy Perry's California Girls and Labyrinth Earthquake, and I think then I played Queen I Want It All. So you can imagine what was going through my head at the time. But yeah, next week, 5:30, Wednesday, core class. Want you to do it again. You had some really good response, and there's a couple of extra people up there. Now by this time I'd done a bit of research, so I'd actually put a playlist together, and I was walking around getting people to grab my ankles, and I was throwing them, and yeah, it was a really interesting class. So that became my everyday my every Wednesday 5:30 core class. Now let's be completely honest about things. In the start, I was shit, absolutely atrocious. I couldn't count time. My music was atrocious. My class was atrocious. There was no chronology to my sequences. There was absolutely no choreography. Nothing went to the music. I couldn't count a beat to save my life. And as I've said, frankly, guys, it was shit. It's as simple as that. I would have been so disappointed if some 16-year-old kid was telling me how to teach core. But for some reason, I think because what I used to do was I used to go into the class, like sort of turn the music up on full blast, probably 15 minutes before I started. I've just gone mad. And I think people could see the passion and the determination that I got to be good, but I just wasn't. I was awful. And about 2 or 3 weeks later, obviously I'm still on the sales team. One of the ladies who, and this is really unfortunate, she's probably one of the best instructors that I've ever met, had a horrific incident happen, and I've never seen her since. But 6:30 and 7:30, I was going to teach a spin class, and I was going to teach a legs, bums and tums class. Now, I got my spin qualification the week before. It was nothing like teaching a class, because obviously in a class you actually have to talk, whereas within this I just had to turn up, basically do a class, and I got the qualification. And yeah, it was atrocious. I remember 3 people walked out. I hadn't got any time to prepare any music, so I'd got a bit of music on my iPod Nano, the 80 gig one. I remember my fiance's dad gave it to me, and yeah, put a bit of music on and put this playlist on, and it stopped after 43 minutes. It was an hour class, and these people were walking out. It was absolutely atrocious. Then I went and did legs, bums and tums, and I'd actually done a bit of research for that. Used exactly the same playlist, but that was okay. And I tried different things. I tried to move about. Don't be wrong, let's be honest, it was probably a car crash. But yeah, managed to get through it, and a couple of people enjoyed it, said they would come back next week. So next week, I thought this lady would be back, and yeah, turns out she weren't coming back again. So I was on spin class. Now I'd actually thought ahead of time this time, put a playlist together. I had a class together which was to MC Bomb Funk Freestyler. Now I still use it now because it's my favourite thing to teach. This certain type of spin track, and guys, it went so well. It went so well, it was absolutely unbelievable. There was this bald-headed guy who walked out the previous week, and I remember him seeing me and going, oh my God, look at this kid. And he was whooping and screaming and shouting. I was thinking, oh, is this good, is this bad? Come to the end, he goes, you've saved the day, you have. And from there, I ended up with the core class, the legs, bums and tums, the spin class, and the legs, bums and tums. And by that time, we decided that we needed to go more into retention than we did into sales. So I moved on to the fitness team where I was working with Stefan Schillingford, who for me was, you know, a shoulder to cry on at some point. He was absolutely amazing. The health and fitness manager had gone off to do exercise referral, and yeah, between me and Steph, we were teaching almost every class you could possibly imagine. And I was learning off personal trainers like Adam Parr, Pav Sava, Gary Round, Leslie Nakor, who else was there at the time? Mark Downs, Pete Stankovic. There was so many different people there. People who now are at the top of the game. Rob Doody, got to mention Rob Doody, the guy who taught me pad work and the guy who told me to calm down a little bit. You know, massive shout out to Rob. But yeah, working with this team of just absolute animals who wanted to do, you know, who wanted to be bigger and better and bigger and better and all this different stuff. And like, it was absolutely amazing, and I had to raise my game to be, you know, near them. But never once did exercise to music. All of my stuff was off the beat, and frankly, it was still rubbish. Came to the end of my time at Fitness First. I've been made health and fitness manager. I've been completely used, let's be honest, with 2 members of staff, but let's not go into that. And then I went into the public sector, and this is where I got schooled on being a class instructor. Now, when you're teaching 13, 14 classes a week, it's learning how to preserve your body, learning how to move around the class but still make it look like you're doing something. And it's the first time that I learned that this, which is actually my right hand, is my left hand, and this is my right hand. Okay, so I can teach everything backwards now, which is great. So if I tell the class to move to the right, I move to the left. That way, when everyone moves that way, I'm not moving that way, which was the biggest mistake I was making when I first started. But I remember distinctly doing this training course with Keith Smith and Dr. Paul Bedford, and they were absolutely amazing. Dr. Paul, I can't even begin to tell you how amazing that human is. But Keith Smith was probably one of the biggest influences on me in my early part of my teaching, because we were in a group setting, about 10 or 12 of us, and I got put up against Kev, who was probably the best class instructor at the time. And I remember thinking, okay, you know, I've done my exercise to music now, I can work a couple of things out, let's just build this in. And he goes, right, 3, 2, 1, in you go. I go, right then guys, let's get, and I could hear Kev opposite, and he was loud, he was confident, he was explaining things, he was solid and all this different stuff, and I thought, I'm going to get absolutely wiped out here, or I go for it. I just throw caution to the wind. I'm going to have to murder the guys to do it because I want to keep up with this guy. And that's exactly what I did. Ego took over. Probably weren't the best of execution, but I just let them have it. And from that day, the confidence in my class teaching ability, you know, he went through the roof, because here I was, and I was doing something called queuing. So I was saying the next exercise 4 to 5 seconds before the exercise that I was on completed. That way it flowed. I have no idea what Kev did, because I was so in my own bubble that Keith had to get us both to stop. And we actually got a round of applause for it, which was really good because we were going at it together. And yeah, Keith said to my manager at the time, you want to watch out for this kid because he's really, really good. And obviously that did my confidence to the world of good. From there, you know, made mistakes, did good classes, did crap classes, did, you know, classes that I can distinctly remember getting standing ovations for. That was amazing. Taught classes to 250 people, that was amazing. And finally I moved on and found myself at Fairlawns, which is a private health club. And that was where honing it in was the best, because you look at Fairlawns Health Club, I think the average age of a member is about 56 or something like that that we worked out. These guys will knock you into fit. They were the fittest members that I've ever been around. So you walk into a class where the average age was 71, trust me, they will keep up with you. And it was at that point that I honed in. My exercise to music was absolutely bang on. I remember doing a course where someone came and looked at my work. They said they would have given me 10 out of 10, but they'd never give anyone 10 out of 10. So they gave me a 9 out of 10 and said I could have done I could be more flexible with my legs or something like that. But yeah, it was a great opportunity to just throw myself, and I did a lot of classes there. But here's a little thing that I didn't tell anybody. Before my first class at Fairlawns, I nearly threw up. Before my first aqua class, I did throw up because I was so nervous that I was going to come across as poor. Now, my aqua class is probably my favourite thing now. You know, there was a time when I was aqua aid, and I had a reputation for jumping in the pool and getting involved, and you know, everybody wanted to be in these aqua classes. And I remember there was a group of police officers that used to come and stay over, and we shouldn't have had this many in the pool, but there was probably 40, 50 people in this pool. There was water going everywhere. I think I fell over at one point, but it was phenomenal, and it was a real boost to the confidence. And I'm thinking back now, you know, I've taught over 3,000 classes in my time. It was that time, that period, that, you know, 4 years where I taught all those classes where it really honed in and where it became, you know, where I knew I was established as a class instructor. Do I look at myself as anywhere near the best? No. I remember being in a class with a lady called Jane Pugh, which is the best class I've ever done in my life. Without fail, she's the best instructor in the Midlands at the moment. The timing was unbelievable, the way she speaks is unbelievable. So yeah, by far the best instructor at the moment. But yeah, being able to go into a class after she's done one and everyone is sticking round to do your class just fills you with so much confidence. And yeah, it was a magical feeling. But obviously coming into MA Fitness, didn't do any class instruction. You know, I've done over 10,000 personal training hours now, so coming into MA Fitness, I didn't do any class instruction. And then we got into lockdowns. And first lockdown, drinking, eating too much, put so much weight on, it was unbelievable, felt like absolute dog shit. Fortunately enough for me, the November lockdown, I was contacted by the head of marketing for ITG, who've been absolutely amazing with me, and said, would you be willing to provide our class, our guys with classes in corporate wellness? And I said, yeah, of course. And again, before that, I mean, I remember speaking to my fiance, you would ask, I was absolutely petrified. I was doing the same things I used to do. I was pacing around, the music was on, all that different stuff. I was geeing myself up. Did the class and thought, why am I ever worried about this? But there's a little bit of something where you're going live in front of people, where you can make yourself look like a tit. I mean, I fell over in a class, I've knocked myself out in a class, I've dislocated my thumb in a class, I've walked that way when I should have been walking that way that many times, it's unbelievable. The first spin class that I ever did, I absolutely bombed the class with people walking out. I've played Dragon Force in a class, which is a bad idea. I've made so many mistakes, it's unbelievable, but I still get that little bit of nervousness before I start because I want the guys who are in the class to get the best experience. And yes, I still get that nervousness now. I mean, I'm losing my nervousness in front of cameras, but it's still there slightly. But yeah, I just wanted to clear that up for everybody because a lot of people have asked me, well, where's your training? What have you done? All this different stuff. I mean, if we look at qualifications, then coming out my arms and all that, you know, all the parts of my body. But every qualification to me is just a piece of paper. It's whether you can actually execute it. And at the moment, I feel like I'm doing well. As part of this 21-day challenge, a lot of people have said, I had no idea you could do this sort of stuff because as a personal trainer, I'm not a military style, get down on the floor, give me 50 style trainer. I'm not a shouter, I'm not a screamer. This is the way I talk in a personal training session. So to see me jumping about and physically doing it, a lot of my guys have never seen that before. And it's nice for my guys to see me actually doing it as well because I think most of them think that I can't do any of it, but yeah, pretty cool. You know, my best friends in the world, they're doing the sessions, my fiance is doing the sessions, you know, my mom's been doing them, and you know, even my little nephew, he's been joining in with his mom, and you know, that was a really proud moment for me, seeing sort of him on the floor doing different stuff. So it gives me a lot of pride when I'm taking part in these sessions and I'm delivering them, and hopefully I'm giving people benefit. But yeah, seeing my little nephew next to his mum was absolutely amazing, and hopefully I can continue this on. But hopefully that has cleared up for you where my journey came from in terms of class instruction. I'm going to do another one next week in terms of where my personal training came from, because that's a much bigger story, because of obviously 3,000 classes, 10,000 personal training hours, you can tell what I've done more of. But yeah, just wanted to clear that up for everybody. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and for anybody who stuck around for the full 20 minutes, I really appreciate it. But guys, I'll speak to you all next time.